Hey everyone! Today we are visiting Colborne Lodge Museum. This journey into the past is going to take us only 13 minutes to get there, but it's going to take us back nearly 200 years. I'm going to share the deep history of this place and some beautiful Christmas traditions and a few spooky stories. Hope you enjoy. Let's get started with the history of the Colborne Lodge. Did you know Colborne Lodge was built way back in 1837? It's right at the south end of the High Park in Toronto. This house used to be home of John and Jemima Howard, the couple who generously gave this land to the city, so everyone could enjoy it. Imagine that, a whole 165 acres just for the people of Toronto. That land eventually became what we know today as High Park. Now, Colborne Lodge isn't just a house, it's a living museum. You will find John Howard's art gallery here, and the place hosts school trips, camps, events, and even special gatherings. Basically, it keeps the story of High Park alive for everyone. So, why did John and Jemima decide to give away most of their land in 1873? That's the question mark. And well, their gift came with a few rules. First rule is, the park had to stay natural. With trees, ponds, and open spaces, it had to be free for anyone to enjoy, rich or poor. Another rule, alcohol was never allowed, and the name had to stay High Park. And here's the sentimental part. The city promised to care for Howard's real side forever. In return, the Howards were allowed to live in Colborne Lodge for the rest of their lives, and they received a yearly pension of $1,200. They may not seem like much today, but back then it was a generous amount, of course. They truly wanted the High Park to be park for the people. Check this out. See that wallpaper? It's actually a perfect copy of the original paper, found right here in this room. But here's the cool part. They only knew what it looked like because they found a hidden scrap of it tucked underneath this old game board. This game board, made by John Howard himself, is like a time capsule for us that was awaiting to be found. And the game on the table, it's a classic. They played it with dice, and it's a racing game. Back before TV or phones, this was how they hang out and have fun. It's wild to think right now about them sitting right here and tossing the dice and racing their pieces across the board just to pass the time. Questions here: who were John and Jemima Howard? John and Jemima moved to Canada from England in 1832. John quickly became one of the Toronto's key early figures. He was the city's first professional architect and also one of its first surveyors. He helped to design the waterfront, roads, bridges, rivers, and sidewalks. Basically, if you are walking in Toronto in 1800s, there's a good chance John had a hand in building what you saw. Jemima, though quieter in history books, played a major role. She copied architectural plans, helped with design, and supported John's work behind the scenes. And here's something cool. They were both talented artists. John painted early Toronto life with streets, people, and landscapes. Meanwhile, Jemima focused on softer, romantic themes. Imagine the two of them in the 1800s, sketching together while living in this house surrounded by nature. 1800s, especially at Christmas time, Families had a fun tradition for children. They called that the Yule log candy. You see that the small wooden log was placed on the table, and inside were hidden treats. And children would gently tap the log with a stick, and when it would open, candies or small sweets would fall out. It was a simple surprise and very exciting for kids. This tradition was about God sharing, celebrating Christmas, long before modern toys and candy stores. Let's peek inside the house. Colborne Lodge started as a small three-room home, but Howard later expanded it. John designed it to blend with the landscape, sitting on a hill overlooking Humber Bay. That was actually what inspired the name High Park. Now here's the fun part. This house was really modern for its time. They had an ice house to keep food cold before refrigerators existed, and the fireplaces were either made from real decorative stone or painted to look like a marble. And get this, they had one of the Toronto's first indoor flush toilets. Plus, there was even gravity-fed showers long before indoor plumbing was common. Some features were hidden because back then people actually thought indoor bedrooms were unhealthy. Can you imagine that? Here's a fun truth bomb about the house. You need to check it out the fireplaces. And back then it was totally fake it till you make it. Some are real stone or wood, but others just painted look like an expensive marble. It was a big trend at the time. If you couldn't afford the real thing, you hired a talented artist to fool the eye. And the fun fact is here, John actually painted some of this himself. Even a fancy house like this, the Howards loved a smart shortcut. Christmas in the 1800s wasn't always sweet and cheerful. Some Christmas cards from that time were actually pretty strange. Instead of cute scenes, people sometimes sent cards showing Krampus, a devil-like figure from German folklore. Krampus was meant to scare naughty children into behaving. He had horns, chains, and a dark, creepy look. Back then, these cards were seen as funny or as warning, not something to fear. When you look at them today, they feel unsettling, but in the 1800s, this was just another unusual way people celebrated Christmas. In the 1830s, there were no electric fridges, but people still needed to keep food and drinks cool. Wealthy homes used something called a wine cooler or ice house. Ice was cut from the frozen lakes in winter and stored underground and packed with straw and sawdust. And this ice could last for months. Wine, milk, and food were kept cool using this natural ice. What happened in the final years of the Howards? Jemima fell very ill later in life and passed away in 1877. John mourned her deeply. Some people even believe her spirit never left Colborne Lodge. Over the years, visitors have reported strange feelings, cold spots, and sightings of a woman at the upstairs windows. In 1869, a police officer reported seeing a figure inside the house, but no one was ever there. John himself passed away in 1890, and after that, Colborne Lodge officially became city property. The house started a new life as a historical site, but the stories and the spirit of the Howards continue to linger. Is Colborne Lodge haunted? That's the question. Now, here's the spooky part. Imagine knowing where you are going to be buried. That's what Jemima Howard may have faced, looking from the front windows at the large stone monument where she would one day rest. She spent her last days gazing at her grave, which is both sad and a little eerie. People have reported all kinds of strange happenings over the years: cold spots, weird noises, and even ghostly women at the second floor windows. One visitor in 1992 had a truly chilling experience. She was touring the lodge with her young son and felt like someone was watching them. That feeling followed them through the house and into the carriage house. As they left, she saw a man standing in the tall grass. He looked real, but something was wrong. He wore a long black coat, high white collar, and muddy boots. His face had no emotion, and his eyes were completely black. Terrified, and she walked away. Later, she saw a portrait of John Howard, and the man she saw looked familiar, but much younger. Was it a ghost or just her imagination? In the 1800s, another unusual way people celebrated Christmas. Some places in Britain had a strange Christmas tradition called the Merry Louet. A horse hat was placed on a stick, often covered with cloth, and brought into homes. People would sing songs and knock on doors during Christmas time. It was meant to bring good luck for the new year. Children sometimes found it funny and sometimes a little scary. It was an old folk tradition, mixing music, celebration, and mystery. In the barn, visitors can see many old items on display. There are farming tools, games, and historic photos that show what life was like long ago. These exhibits help bring the past to life and show how people worked, played, and lived every day. Today, Colborne Lodge is a fully restored museum open to the public. Thanks to the Howard vision and generosity, over 1 million people visit Hyde Park every year. Their dream came true. Hyde Park is still natural, open, and free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more.